Mojo Rawley a good match. It
was a great match. I'm like, wow.
So it's like
if they keep going with this with Mojo, then I actually hopefully will see a bright future with him.
Yeah.
Now away from Zack Ryder, but it's with Seth Rollins. He is proving that the Intercontinental Championship is the championship of Monday Night Raw.
He's proving right now that Seth Rollins, and I'm including AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in this and all that. AJ Styles is, Seth Rollins is the best thing going in the WWE right now. Bar none. That's it. Done.
And the fact that he's helping raise that prestige of the Intercontinental Championship, making it the title that everybody wants to watch, the title match that everybody wants to watch.
The workhorse title, yeah.
Which is what it was back in the 80s, back in the 90s. Which is putting me on cloud nine because of my love for that title.
And what I love about it, is he came out on Monday Night Raw and was like, it's Money in the Bank time. But I don't care. Because I'm in the business of making this title the title on Raw. And I was like, someone actually said it. Kudos. I love it.
It made me react. What's the Universal title? What is that? Why do we need to care about that?
Because you care about it because it's the Brock Lesnar Fruit Loop title. That's why.
In that case, I don't give a shit about it at all.
Exactly. And it's going to become the Roman Reigns Fruit Loop title. And
that title has just lost so much prestige. It's just sad.
Which is why
it makes me crave fruit roll-ups.
Which is why, with all this Money in the Bank build-up, if they do what I think they're going to do, and they're going to have Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal as a qualifying match to get into the Money in the Bank match, all this leading up to it doesn't matter because they're going to give Money in the Bank to Roman Reigns at that point. So it's like I really hope that's not where we're going, and we have that throwaway match at Money in the Bank with Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal. I hope that's where we're going with that, but if not, that it's gonna ruin the Money in the Bank match.
I'll tell you what, I've got my own predictions as far as where this whole thing is going as far as Money in the Bank entries. But we'll get to that at a later point.
But yeah, this match itself, match of the night.
Beautiful story told in the ring. That's the Seth Rollins doing the frog splash to the Miz, 3/4 from the other side of the ring. The story they told about his knee, potentially re-injuring his knee, taking 2 skull-crushing finales.
And
still kicking out of him. This match was just... this match was borderline perfect for me.
This match earned those 2 kickouts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this wasn't a Roman Reigns or a John Cena special where it's just kicking out his finishers to kick out. This match earned those 2 kickouts.
Mm-hmm.
Where we were like...
It's to kick out because they're actually fighting for something, which is the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, so it's like... Yeah, this is a match of the year candidate for me. Easily. But it's a candidate. Probably not going to win. I already have my eyes set on that one. But this is definitely a candidate.
Lovely, lovely stuff. But speaking of lovely stuff, we've got next on the card, Nia Jax defeating Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title, and we got a broken Bliss here, kids.
The story of this match annoys the shit out of me.
It annoys the shit out of me, too. Pardon my language, but
it may annoy the shit out of you, but as I was telling Jeff last week, it gave us adorable segments from Alexa Bliss, the moment of Bliss.
But here's the
them.
deal. Here's my problem. Okay, I don't believe it. I don't believe in the story they're telling here. Okay, the 5-foot pixie blonde princess bullying the shit out of Nia Jax. Okay, if they're gonna go with this storyline, it should have been like it was at WrestleMania, only quicker.
Very true.
Okay, none of none of this. You bully Nia Jax, a plus-sized woman, and you're like 90 pounds soaking wet. Okay, that's Alexa Bliss. Okay, this match should have been if they're going with the storyline they're telling. Okay, this should have been over minute flat. If you're gonna go with that story, you gotta pay it off the way that story is meant to be paid off. Okay, it's not a back and forth. That's not how you go here. That's it.
Would you have really said the same thing when Nia Jax was facing like Sasha Banks or Bayley or Asuka?
If it's a bullying storyline, yes. If that's the story, if you are going with a wrestling storyline, I'm a better wrestler than you, or anything other than a bullying storyline, and if you're going with a standard wrestling, the way that Nia Jax and Sasha Banks went at it when they had that feud last year, okay, I could see it back and forth with that. It wasn't a bullying thing. It was just Nia Jax was big and beating the shit out of Sasha Banks.
But Sasha was still managed to work her way to gaining a victory over Nia. And I'm like, that's fine, okay. But you're going into this storyline with a 90-pound woman bullying a 250-pound woman and expecting me to believe that this is going to be a back and forth match. I fully believed it was going to be a back and forth match. Remember, Alexa Bliss is the number one female heel on Monday Night Raw. She's methodical. She's a plotter. She's more than just a beautiful face. And I'm not going to say pretty face because she's fucking gorgeous. Oh, there's my one. She's more than that. She's established herself as someone who can face someone like Bayley and Sasha Banks and actually defeat them. So it's believable for me to show that she can she can try and work her way to actually hold her own against Nia Jax, but still end up losing because she's the bad and she needed to lose.
I second that.
As I said, okay, in a more wrestling-wise storyline, I'd be like, okay, I can see Alexa Bliss with the plotting and all that. I just think the way that the way they did this storyline, I'm like, first of all, the storyline shouldn't have been this in the first place.
Fat shaming, as Charlie put it, absolutely.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been this in the first place. The moment the fat shaming came, I was like, every match from here on out should be Nia Jax just, pardon the pun, should just be eating fucking Alexa Bliss alive. Okay.
You knew exactly what you were saying.
These matches should be 2 minutes long, and Nia Jax just beating the shit out of this woman.
All right,
and now moving on.
I would agree to that with the match later, but for this match, I fully disagree with that.
Here's the problem. It can't be this is the later match. This is the later match. The first match for this bullshit was at WrestleMania.
No, not when I mean later. A different match that happens later in this show. That's the point I was going across. That's the part I agree with. That's your thoughts is my thoughts for the later match that we're going to talk about soon. For this one, this is probably the end of their storyline, at least for right now.
I hope so.
Because if it actually did go 2 minutes or a minute with this like a squash match, it would have taken everything that Alexa did as Raw Women's Champion and just smushed it there too. I don't want that. I want her. Alexa has reached that point where she is up there. She's like, for me, she could go on a good wrestling quality match with someone like Charlotte and Asuka.
Now going into the actual match. Now that I'm done with the actual,
and then with her bullying during the match, it makes you want her to. It makes you want to side with Nia even more. But the thing was, the match was more. What's the word? The match was very slow paced. it started killing a very, very hyped New Jersey crowd.
This is where I was actually going when I started that. I was like, now actually going into the match, now that I'm done bad mouthing the storyline of it. Okay, this match was boring for me. It was boring. Okay, and Nia Jax still does nothing for me. Okay, her finishing move is a Samoan drop. And I'm pretty sure that's the only move she hit at the end of that match. And it killed Alexa Bliss. Going off of my thoughts, it should have. But, okay, this match was 15 minutes long. It was between 10 and 15 minutes long. Okay. No. And then you're going to have Nia Jax cut a promo afterwards? Can anyone look at me with a straight face and say that was a good idea?
Absolutely not.
It was a good idea.
Except I know you're lying because I see the grin on your face.
I tried.
Let's see.
I thought I could do it. And
I'm looking at the time. It was 10 minutes.
Yeah, well,
granted, it should have been at least 7. You should, because there was a lot of dead time in this match. There was good moments of like Alexa constantly trying to break out of the Samoan drop, because the whole storyline, they know each other. They were quote quote friends, so she knows what Nia is capable of, and then she finally lands it. When it was a super Samoan drop, that's more understandable, that actually could keep a person down than just a regular Samoan drop. But it's women's wrestling, apparently.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this right now. I did not like this at all.
Oh, it was that promo that they had Nia say, which was basically nothing more than "Be a Star" campaign.
Yeah,
and "Be a Star" promo.
And any good thoughts that I might have had about this match, that promo killed it.
You had a crowd that in the beginning was for Nia, and then you had this promo, and it was completely turned around. The crowd was like, "Yeah, this is bullshit." Boo! 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 It was that. You took the crowd and you just killed it. And I actually had a couple of friends who went to that show, and when they talked to me about it, they were just like, "Yeah, this was just terrible." Yeah. Well, as soon as they told me they went to Backlash, I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry."
You know what? That brings up a good point. Like, when I realized that this show was going to be in our backyard, I was like, oh, wow, I'm actually kind of sorry that we didn't get tickets to it. By the time the show was over, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I missed this one. But anyway, that's for another conversation for later on in the show. For right now, we still had Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton, and Jeff Hardy went over Randy Orton and is still your U.S. champion.
It was a good match.
I'm not even going
SmackDown.
that far. I'm not even going that far. Even a SmackDown match, this was boring. It was bad. With these two guys, okay, with other guys, I'd be like, this was good for a SmackDown match. But we've seen Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
You want a bagel?
Randy Orton have a great pay-per-view match at Royal Rumble 2008. We've seen them be able to go. This was... Randy Orton doesn't care. Okay, and this was Jeff Hardy's first pay-per-view match back, so I didn't expect him to do much. But I mean, this was a showcase of two guys having the most simple match that they could actually have. And with these two guys, it's a massive disappointment. So even though it might be a good match for SmackDown, for Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, that means it's a shit match. That's it.
I'll agree on that one. But I wasn't angry about it as you guys apparently.
Oh, I'm not angry about it. It just needs to be said. Like, when you've seen these two guys and you know what these two guys are capable of, and they put together
swantoning off the Raw scaffolding. Yeah.
No, I don't even mean that. Just in the matter of a good match. Okay, we've seen them be able to do it. on a pay-per-view at one time. And when this is the stock that they come out with on a